one. So they are both inverse. They are a function. They're a little bit different. So let's try it. Let's see what happened. Hopefully I can find it. I was tutoring SAT yesterday for my classes outside of school. And I found that there were so many questions that we talked about. You have PSAT coming up soon. That so yeah, I was going over some question like this one, right? Like this question, like an xy point, a line k intersect y-axis 0, -6 pass through 2, at a point 20 w line k. I was like, wow, this is all the question that we went over. Can you do it? Okay. And I can point out, like, there were so many questions that I talk about in this classroom that will be on this. Look, can you do 31? Can you do this? 29. You should be able to do this as well. You should be able to you should be able to do this as well. There was so many questions about lines that it would have helped you that if you understand a little bit. So I'm gonna post those questions up there, just let you to see it, what kind of linear equation will be. Of course, we didn't cover everything. We didn't cover exponential equation. We didn't cover all other things. But I can show you, like, there was some question I just went over. I was like, wow, this is a lot of things that we went over. Look at this whole question. There was like at least 8 questions all about lines. And your test you did bad on, make sure you come back. Make sure you understand every detailed thing. Okay? It's okay if you fail a test. I never question people fail a test. What do you do after you fail a test? What do you do? Right? Do you try to get better or you try to get same thing? Okay, so let's talk about yesterday's homework questions. Wait, what the hell is homework questions? Why is this in arrangement of alphabetical order? Great, I don't know where's my homework. Oh, thank you. I'm an idiot. You are a genius. Wait, hold on a second. They're still indexing though. How do I search most recent? Why they're indexing? What? Oh. You are smart. I am dumb. Okay. E, right? E is basically asking this, so it's kind of challenging. Wait, am I sharing screen, right? No. Why is this thing in the middle? Okay, so G. Okay, so G says, hey, can you find out what this is first? That's K inverse of -1. Then you say, okay, let's go look at the K of X. K of X is right here. Is that okay? So when K inverse is a -1, that means when Y value is -1, what is X? So -1, X is right here, 3. So then I find out H inverse of 3. Does that make sense? And then you're going to go back to look at H of X. H of X is basically, well, it happened to, you're supposed to look at it this way. When H inverse is not supposed to look at it, you're supposed to look at it this way. and you track, and you go back down, the answer is 3. Next question. Yes. E, okay, so it's same thing. K inverse of -1. Well, I keep on asking -1. I should ask something else. This is going to be 3. So that is going to be equal to f of 3. F of 3, you're going to plug in the f3. So that's going to be 3 squared minus 3 plus 2. Now remember, 3 squared happened first, not -3 times 3. So this is going to be -3 times 9 plus 2. And that's -7 plus 2. That's equal to -25. So -25. Can f of x have inverse? That was a tricky question. Yes or no? No, why not? It doesn't pass horizontal lines. That's because of the parabola. It can have inverse, however, so it's kind of tricky. If you cut a graph into half, so if you do that graph, I have certain restriction, let's say x is greater than 0, then you can have inverse. But as of right now, you cannot have an inverse at -3x squared plus 2 because it fails horizontal line test. Very good. Whoever says that is a genius. Okay, next question. Don't be afraid to ask. Brendan, yes. What? 2b. Oh, yeah, this is not too bad. Y equal to 3x minus 1. Oh, 2x minus 1. I can't read 3x plus 2. X equal to 2y minus 1. 3y plus 2. X is 3y plus 2 equal to 2y minus 1. 3xy plus 2x equal to 2y minus 1. 3xy minus 2y equal to -1 minus 2x. And y equal to 3x minus 2, -1 minus 2x, and the inverse of x is equal to -1 minus 2x over 3x minus 2. You can factor out -1. Did I make a mistake? Huh? That's fine. Next question. Yes. Number 3. Okay, number 3 is tricky. This should not hurt. You wake up yet? Okay. You can keep that eraser. Okay. So, number 3 is a tricky question. Why? I think Sam did the work online, and that's beautiful work. That's a beautiful work. She found the inverse, and she put in 10. Beautiful. Excellent, excellent work. She got the right answer, and that's all matters. Okay? What she did is she did it this way. I don't know if she still have it, but so f of x, this is y equal to 3x minus 1 plus 4, x equal to 3y minus 1 plus 4, and then x minus 4 equal to y minus 1 square root, and the inverse is equal to x minus 4 over 2 plus 1. Wait, hold on a second. Sam, is that what you get? Yeah. Okay. And then she plugged in 10. So equal to 10 minus 4 over 2 squared plus 1. That's equal to 6 over 2, which is 2 squared plus 1 is equal to 5. And her answer was 5. Now, I'm going to challenge you to look at this question a little bit different. Let's see if you can use a faster way. Austin?
You just plug in 10 to the original one.
Plug in 10 into where?
The original.
Yes, yes. So Austin is thinking logically. Austin even says, look, I can think about, I don't even need to find the inverse because the 10 on the inverse is the y value, is the original. So 10 is equal to 3x minus 1 plus 4. and then he can do that in -4 on both sides. 6 equal to 3x minus 1. It becomes solving radical functions, and that's 2 equal to square root x minus 1. Square both sides, 4 equal to x minus 1, x equal to 5. Super efficient, yes.
Could you explain what you did after you did the 3 over to the x?
At here,
Yes, could you explain that?
oh, I square both sides. I square both sides and I move the 1 over. To get rid of radical, I can do it that way. But this way is even better though. Look at this. What Sen did is nice. And I think about that as a beautiful work. What Austin did is just, what you guys call it? The next level, right? It's a next level thinking about creatively, how do I face a problem, different directions. For me, either way, you're gonna get credit on the test, and I will test you. Really nice. Next question. Some people says they have problem graphing h inverse of x. Do you have, then Sarah, why didn't you ask me? Why didn't you ask me? Oh, okay. All right, you're gonna take this point, and this point is what? -5, comma what? -4, right? Is that okay? So I'm gonna take another point here. I'm gonna draw another point here. It's -4, -5. Is that okay? So this is -3, -1. So that means what? -1, -3. Is that okay? And this is 1, 1. And this is 3, 3. And then all you gotta do is figure out this coordinate. This coordinate is 4, 6. So 6, 4. I think this way. Do you see that inverse? That's symmetry to here. Does that make sense? Ian, you didn't know how to graph this one yesterday? This is how you graph it. Take a coordinate swap and then graph it. Got it? Yeah.
If it lands on y equals x,
It's okay.
it'll just do the same, right?
Yeah.
The inverse.
So that's why they stay the same. So it because that line is y equal to x from this point to this point.
Yeah.
So they can symmetry to that. And if symmetry to that, it's just gonna match. So you don't really care. You just take it a turning point. So whatever point that turn or whatever end point is, you swap the coordinate completely and you switch everything. Got it? Yes. D?
Yeah.
Which D? This one? D? Okay. G of -1. You're gonna plug in G of -1 first. Remember last time Anthony teaching you, and you do it everything together. You plug in G of -1 first, and then 5 times -1 is -5 plus 2, so it's -3. You're gonna plug in -3 into the f of x, so it's a -3 squared, so it's 9. 9 times -3 is -27 plus 2 is 25. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to stand up because you're gonna fall asleep every time.
I made number 3D.
I don't want to keep on tossing marker at you. I'm gonna run out of marker. Huh?
I made 3D.
3D.
Yeah.
Let me see. 3D. Okay, 3D. 3D is f of x equal to root 3x minus 1, y equal to 3x minus 1, x equal to 3y minus 1, square on both sides, so it's x squared equal to 3y minus 1, plus 1, so be x squared plus 1 equal to 3y, inverse of x, so that is going to be x squared plus 1 over 3. Questions?
I'm sorry, I was asking about the one Scarlet class. The one energy bro.
Yeah, I already did that.
Like I meant
What do you want me to add? What do you mean to add? Like which question you have specifically? If I went over,
understand the part where you
you talking about the faster way or the slower way? Faster way. So this is the inverse, right? This means if this is 10 on the inverse, that means the x value on the inverse, right? And then if you go back to original, that becomes the y value, which is you plug in 10 into the f of x rather than plug in the x. So then I just plug in 10 there, and I isolate them. So I subtract 4 on both sides, I get 6. I divide by 3 on both sides, 2. I square both sides, I get 4. And then plus 1 to the other y, so it's going to be x equal to 5. And that will be my answer, f inverse, shit, I almost kicked myself. F inverse of 10 is equal to 5. Questions? No more questions, let's move on. I'm gonna go over this first thing, transformation first. Okay, so transformation is gonna be something like this. So let's just say, imagine I have a graph like this. First of all, hold on, let me do a little bit different. Hold on. Let's just say I have a graph like this, and graph like this, and a graph like this. I change it a little bit. First of all, I'm going to ask you something about this f of x. What do you need to know in this f of x? Well, I need to know the interval this f of x is positive. Do you know which interval is positive? Yes. No. Let's try though. Which region, so where is f of x positive? Intervals. Nathan? -1 to what? 1?
Union
3 to 6 bracket, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a parenthesis bracket here you had to pay attention to. For this region, from here to here, this f of x is positive. Does that make sense? That means above x-axis. Is that okay? And it's including this value because this -1's included, but it's not including 1 because 0 is not positive. Does that make sense? Are you sure? Then you should not nod your head, Emerson. What you don't understand? Don't nod your head. Don't be a nodder. To go be like this, and I have no clue what you're saying, but I'm just nod so you don't question me. I'm gonna question you. I can see your soul. Yes, Emerson.
you re-explain how to determine if it's positive.
Okay, when it's positive, that means they are above x-axis. So that means the output is positive. Is that okay? So that means only in this region that's positive. But this one is for sure, this is a solid dot, so it's including -1, but it's not including 1 because that 1 is going to give you a 0 because your y value is going to be 0. 0 is not a positive number. So it's going to be -1 bracket, comma 1. Is that okay? Yes.
Determine
That's a very good question. So I'm gonna say that again. This part is a bracket because it's including, because at -2 you're gonna get output of 2, right? So it is positive. But I here at 0, at 1, you're gonna x equal y value is gonna be 0. But y equal value is 0. Guess what? That's a parenthesis because 0 is not really positive. Is that okay? Armin?
The leftmost parentheses, the bracket? Or...
Yeah, this one's a bracket.
Oh, okay.
And the 6 is also a bracket as well because 6 is fine. But 3 is parentheses. Yes.
If you have a function that's just positive, will you just put the two endpoints?
Yep. Very good. Okay, so now f of x is negative where? Anybody want to give it a try? Negative means what? Yes, McKenna? It's a parenthesis or bracket? Why parentheses? Yep. It's not no point, there's a point, but it's just not positive. 1, 2, 3. And that's that. Does people make sense? Yes, Emerson? 1 to 3 is because we're looking at above or below x-axis. So if it's positive, you look at if they're above or below. So in this case, it's going to be below because that's below the x-axis. So the way to kind of talk about is it positive or negative is just look at are they above x-axis or they below x-axis. Is that okay? Now, when is the f of x increasing? What do you mean by increasing? What? What?
Positive slope.
Positive slope. Okay, good. That's a very good definition. So which part has a positive slope? Yen, stand up. I need you to stand up because you keep on falling asleep because you're gonna fall asleep. If you fall asleep, then you just don't understand. Tomorrow, and you're gonna make your mom work harder at night because she's gonna have to go with you. Okay, so f of x is increasing. Where's increasing? 2 to 4. Now it's including 2 or not including 2? 2 is not really increasing. At that one point, it's not really increasing. So it's just 2 to 4. Because at 4, I'm not really increasing anymore. So f of x is increasing from 2 to 4 because of positive slope. Okay, so where's f of x decreasing? -1 to where? 2. And that's it. Because that's going down. When's the f of x constant? Four to 6. See, if you stand up, you're actually working. Your brain is actually working because your blood has flow. If you sit down, you're gonna fall asleep. So unfortunately, I'm gonna ask you to. Okay. So yes.
Would the constant ones have a bracket when it's not moving?
Whoa, a constant one is a bracket. That's a good question. It is a bracket. Okay. Because it's including 4. It's always, yeah. Okay, what is minimum? Where's minimum? At x equal to 2. But if I would ask you minimum value, it's going to be -1. Those are people don't understand what is the difference between where in x has relative maximum minimum. The minimum is gonna be occur at x equal to 2. Now, if I were to ask you minimum value, then it's different. For most of you guys in my calculus class, I will explain to students as anytime I ask you value, that means YU. So if write it down, is anytime it's a value, you're gonna draw a line on the bottom says YU. That means Y value. That will help you. This is from a very well-known teacher in the back in Fort Lauderdale I met in the professional training. She said just told students instead of value, just told them it's YU. So that way they know it's always a Y value rather than X value. Now, if I say where in X a relative minimum occurred, then you're gonna say occur at X equal to 2. But minimum value is gonna be what? -1. Is that okay? What's the maximum value?
2.
So maximum value is where?
2.
2. So because the highest point. Now this is not relative. This is called absolute maximum value. So that's going to be 2. It's the highest point in the interval. It does not have to go up or go down. If it go up and go down, it's called relative. Relative maximum, but doesn't mean it's absolute. So this is actually absolute. It's called absolute maximum value. It's the highest one. If I say absolute, that means the highest one. If I say absolute, that means the lowest value. Does that make sense? It's absolute. It's going to be the maximum value and minimum value. Now, I'm going to teach you how to transformation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the transformation. What is transformation? If I have f of x plus k, what kind of transformation does occur? What does it do to this graph? Armin? It moved to the left. Okay. Robert?
I think it would go up.
It will go up. Okay. So how many people say it's going to the left? Armin, you're the only one. That's okay. I like that. Robert? Anybody agree with Robert? Okay. In this case, majority did win because f of x plus k, that means the graph's going to go up. K units. Now, f of x minus k is going to go down k units. So that means every single point, the graph is going to go up, or every single point is going to go down. Is that okay? Now, I can have this f of x plus k. Now, what do you think this graph's going to do?
So
Armin? Did anybody think it's going right? Raise your hand if you think going right. That's fine. Let's see if it's true, okay? So I'm gonna just name any functions, right? And if I'm gonna say, oh yeah, f of x, right? Is equal to, I don't know, I'm gonna pick an easy one to say absolute value x. And let's just do, try it. Let's say, instead of f of x, I'm gonna say f of x plus 2. What does the graph do? Going to the left. Got it? Inside a parenthesis is up. It's opposite. And by the way, I know what ops mean. I have a lot of ops in this school. Somebody snitched on me for a janitor. I almost have to fight with them. How do I go to the last page? Is there any way I can go down to like 362 pages without keep on clicking it?
Thing in the bottom corner. Yeah. And then type in the number you got.
Where? What?
That little thing right there.
Yeah.
Right.
362? Okay, you guys are genius. All right, f of x plus k. If inside the parenthesis is always opposite from the sign, so it's going to be left k units. F of x minus k is going to go right k unit. Is that okay? Now, what if you have a number that's in the front? K. Huh? Multiply by K. I like that. I like that. Multiply by K is actually good. What is multiply by K though? So the interesting, yes. Stretching and compression, yes. I don't like that though. And yes, in the math, in algebra 2, we call it vertical stretch or vertical compress. And I don't like that. I like it called multiplier. And what do you mean by multiplier? Just multiply the y value. So multiply the y value. Okay, multiply the y value. Yeah. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to take this graph. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, hey, this is f of x. Can you graph f of x plus 2? Now, for me, that I take the turning point, take the endpoints, and turning point. Take the endpoints and turning points, and I decide are they going to go which way. So I'm going to take this value right here, this value, and I'm going to move according to the transformation. Does that make sense? So if I take that, that's going to be at -1, 2. That's going to go up 2 units. Is that okay? And also, I'm going to take this point because this is the turning point. The turning point is where the points start turning. And you're going to say that point is at 2, -1. So it's going to be 2, 1. Is that okay? And again, 4, 1. 4, 1 is going to be right here, but it's going to go up 2 more units. So it's going to be right here and right here. So it's going to have something like this. And there you go. That's your first transformation. Take the turning point and end point and just go with transformations. Is that okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to graph f of x minus 2 here. And you're going to tell me, what does that graph do? But again, you had to base on this graph, though, not based on the second graph, because the second graph is f of x minus 2. Actually, hold on a second. Let's do -3. That way we don't confuse the number. So let's do f of x minus 3. Remember, inside the parenthesis is which direction, right? So we're going to talk about that. Again, take a paper and write on a paper. You need a paper? I have some.
Is the multiplier thing the same thing as like dilation?
Yeah, I don't like to call it dilation. Dilation. I actually don't use dilation a lot, so I don't remember what it meant. So in geometry you do call it dilation, but in algebra we just call it vertical stretch and compress, or horizontal compress or horizontal stretch. Now for me, like, I don't really care about that because all you gotta understand the value they're going, how much more. So Jada, f of x minus 3, does that go up, down, left, right? Going right. How many units? 3 units. Good. You are awesome. See here, it's not that bad. Now just go in, base on the graph here, and I'm going to base on this graph here. This point is going to go right 3 units. So if I go right 3 units, it's going to be right here. Is that okay? Did you do that? And this point here, it's going to go right 3 units. So it's going to be phi 1. And the 4-1 is going to be 4-1 is going to be right 3 units. So it's going to be here and here. Did you guys graph right? Is that okay? Okay, so that's good. Because later on we gotta do it with a sine and cosine graph. So you have to understand sine and cosine graph transformation. You gotta see all different kind of things. Okay, so can I graph, let's just say a combination of both. So let's just say f of x plus 1 minus 2. So understand what did the graph do? The graph going which direction, how many units, and going which direction, how many units.
Is it x plus 1?
Yep. Tomorrow on your SAT, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and do all the questions you know how to do, and even easy question, even question that just adding like 2 times x plus 1. Spend another 5 seconds check on that, because that's worth a 5-second investment. You don't make simple mistake. You guys listening to me? Okay, so easy question worth just as much as hard question. Now, hard question, you can spend 5 minutes on it per question or 3 minutes per question. Easy question, you only need to spend 20 seconds. And guess what? You invest another 5 seconds, it's fine. Just people like Emerson's gonna make stupid mistakes. You are. And that's okay. Spend another 5 seconds on it. It's okay. Anybody in this room bound to make stupid mistake. If you don't spend 5 seconds on the easy question, it's what? There's total 58 questions. 5 seconds per question. What are you gonna spend on? 250 seconds. That's 5 minutes. And guess what? That 5 minutes is worth one hard question. Yesterday I solved one SAT question. Takes me 5 minutes. That was my last question. I finished the whole thing in 20 minutes, supposed to be 55 minutes, but I spent 5 minutes on one single question. It was a 50-minute section. I still finished halfway at the time, but that one question spent me 5 minutes. And there's one question I misread with addition and subtracting sign. I was like, shit, I got one wrong. Because it was 1100 plus 120 instead of 1100 minus 120. I read it as a minus sign. I should have spent 5 seconds to read if that sign's right, because that costs as much as a 5 minutes, because 5 minutes question. So understand SAT strategy is you need to make sure all the easy questions done properly and fixed correctly. So now this question is 2 combinations. It's gonna go left 1 and up down 2. Is that okay? So take all the unit, left 1, down 2. Now I'm going to talk about the next one. How about this? Multiplier. Multiplier, just make sure you take all the y value, multiply by -2, all the turning points. So you take this turning point here, that's -1, 2, right? So what is multiplied by -2? -1, 2, the y value is 2, but 2 is going to multiply by -2, which is what? -4. Does that make sense? Is that okay? That's the first point. All you need is to understand 1 point. Is that okay? Because it was -1, 2, but the 2 is the one that multiplied by -2. not an X. Don't get confused, not an X. All right. So you're gonna have some homework and learn how to graph. Get a graphing paper. It's worth it. Anthony, I need to talk to you. What's up, Andrew? Huh? Come on after school. I need to talk to you. Come after school. I need to talk to you. You're not in trouble, don't worry. So I'll be negative 1 negative.
Yeah, same point. So yeah, just put like the X out. Bye, Astrid. Bye. No, not all that. Bye, Astrid. Bye.
He gave me his fucking I'm disappointed. I did really bad on it.
What?
Because I genuinely, like, I was really sick. Not like literally, but and everything, so I genuinely just couldn't think.
That's so funny one for us. And then he was like, he literally told us to go with him.
He has a ball though. Why does he ball? Maybe he tells me to go out.
Maybe it's not fair.
No. Oh my god, he gave me an I'm disappointed talk. Yeah, probably so.
Probably pummeling him with basketball. He told us to go out there. He got mad and called him. I'm not gonna go outside.
What do you guys think you did? I know what I did. Oh, you did? I got 66. Oh, wow. That's not
That's higher than any sport. No.
Me too. Actually, it was like, what's going on with you? Are you okay? No, excuse me. You know what happened? Okay. In computer science, my first exam. He was showing me 54. He was showing me his work. He was showing me my work. You know, everything you did, he set up right. He just didn't answer right. I thought that's something I would do.
Basically what I did.
How do you think you did?
I don't know.
Wait,
I think I had a 66 there.
me too, bro. Like, personality.
Math, but I can do it. It takes me a long time. And I was freaking out because I couldn't have a long time. So,
Oh,
yeah, I was kind of freaking out. But I tried my best. I'm not ready to see. Bro, I'm not ready to prepare for the test. No, like I couldn't give it.
I know he did bad. I don't know.
So what's 5 out of 50? Anything over 5 out of 50. Anything over 29 rounds.
My heart is racing. What? Don't worry. Oh, right. Nah, I'm kind of at it. Okay, not really weird.
I can tell you that I don't really care. Plays out.
Kevin, what'd you get in the test? What'd you get in the test?
Oh,
Well, you were something graded yet or what? Not good.
Yeah.
No, you walk across the stage. And then you like all.
Maybe Friday.
It's something about being loyal to the
Oh, what if we lost?
Yeah, dude, yeah.
You can do the races and then like hurt.
No, I can't. I think I'm literally. I'm
And then
getting.
I have like a
Oh, really?
yeah, I know.
Skip it, brother.
I mean, what's the one? It's just.
Oh, still, definitely skip it. Definitely skip it. No, go break your arms. Like.
was there for half the race. Because it's 4 races.
You were at the races last year?
No, the year before, I was in half the races. Last year, I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
This year, I could do all of the races.
How did they have all the stuff? Like me invited and like maybe 4 other people, like everyone else left their seat. Half the ball was
No one landed.
How did I not get there?
Did you like
The application?
Yes.
okay, and then you got all your teacher right?
All of them.
When you picked for leadership.
Remember?
No. It doesn't
I don't know.
Maybe
The entire
maybe your application is so
Yeah.
That's like impossible.
I know, that is maybe they lost.
Not getting the chance.
Maybe they lost after.
Yeah, how do I not?
What's your GPA? Like you're unweighted.
I'm waiting for 3.6.
It's still
It's not mine, it's like barely. I think you're like borderline.
I agree that that was a 4.5.
I don't think you're.
They said weighted 3.5.
It's weighted.
Yeah.
And then we're like, no, today's even worse. We're like lowest and lowest.
Yeah,
Don't blame me, don't blame me. But you have a problem?
Landon, maintain a 3.5 weighted.
I don't know how you can get it. I don't know.
Weighted.
I mean, you gotta actually get it.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
They lost to digital application. We never hit this.
Are you sure? No, okay, what happened to me is I didn't originally get an email from Ms. Wayland. She was like the original lady. I had to go to her to confirm that I was in NHS. And then they sent me, now they switched advisors, and they sent me like an email like yesterday saying, oh yeah, you're in NHS. I would follow up. Yeah. Could you fill out the form?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, follow up, because Ms. Wayland did send me an email saying, hey, you were invited. I had to go up to her. She's like so shitty. No, she's like the previous advisor, and she like didn't send emails to like a bunch of kids saying they were invited. So that might have happened because it happened to me. I had to go up to her and be like, am I on the list? She's like, yeah.
Did you go to the thing?
Yeah. Because I got, are you in the NHS course for Canvas? Check if you're in that.
I was just doing homework the whole time. It didn't matter.
It was only like 3 conferences.
4,400.
Well, actually, most of
I
them.
didn't get.
Like the professor on this.
There was like one girl who like knew her public speaking.
Yeah, she was actually pretty cool.
Oh, and then do 8 times 8. I don't know. And no trans these days, so.
Yeah, but a lot of the kids can actually.
Or going like this, standing there up there.
For whatever reason. Was it called Taylor?
Why do we have to shake the like?
Oh.
Touch everybody.
You have the ball.
I don't want to. She was like, bro, like, no, my mom was like, when would I ever said like, no, 4 years of English. I'm like, stop, yeah, like, bro, like,
Put down
literally
those
over here.
bro.
I mean, I think I have homework done, so.
Oh,
Also, like, filling notes for like a whole Google document, so I was just doing every single effort again. Oh.
that bro. I got no service.
Yeah, you turn your VPN on.
I was all asleep.
Like, what's such a shit show?
Was it better than last year?
Oh.
I wasn't there last year.
Well,
so I
yeah.
don't know.
I heard that it was like.
I heard it was also really
Well,
bad.
because apparently, like, she's an arts instructor, but like, supervisor was really bad. Like, she was terrible.
What is this?
I'm fired. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Example.
Try to.
Are they
What is that?
they're writing a brand?
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's do something else.
Okay, let's guys. I've got it.
Oh, look,
Okay,
look.
let me
There's
solve
questions
this
right there.
right now. Oh, pull up the PS Bro, solve this. Because it has some of the SAT. This is how the no calculated like first question SAT, bro.
Yeah, dude, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's that.
I remember it was like on the passage I just took, it was like m squared.
You
Like,
got
it was square root of m squared is equal to square root of 4 squared. I'm like, wait, what?
No, it's easy, trust. Hey, how do you do that?
You can see it's mental. Because, okay, you see rate of change from when
Wait,
you
what is the equation speed step?
okay, you see whenever it moves up to x, and you can check out when the y moves up. The one you see is moving from here is from 5, and moving from 1 to 2. So that would be linear, because linear is increasing by a constant amount. Exponential means it's increasing by a large amount.
Yep.
Oh, I remember you could write on tables.
Yeah, well, not easy. D high.
No, Mr. All used to write on our table.
Good.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Whoa, my name.
Bro, I want to take a sneak at my test.
You should.
Like, did you grade the class?
I don't think you graded it. I feel like you didn't grade too bad.
Who's bad? Why is he mad?
Bro,
Why is he bad at easy kids?
Someone failed.
Good.
I'm so mad at
And then you go to the graph. And find and g of x, you can put in.
Bro, you need no, yeah, but the other.
Yeah.
After that.
I started like 10.
He's been yapping for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Most of it.
That's me. Oh,
It's gonna give you extra.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hey, let's get to the.
I didn't do like this. It's like in here like that.
That's like the
Like,
lucky. I think it's always like the other one.
how do I do
You gotta do right.
We don't need the drag.
Oh, wait, he got 4. What?
Okay, just plug in the number. Can you get the number? You need equation. These are your x values. Just plug in your x values until you get
Oh,
the
okay.
w value. Just that.
Let's do this guy.
Oh, this is from the left. Okay. Bro, why is it not
And then you just plug those into there. And then you so g of x. Say.
Guys, I literally pulled it up.
I pressed record and then send you.
Wait, oh, do you have your equation?
I don't appreciate it.
Wait, okay, it's in the lesson. Oh, yeah, I got it. Maybe I'll do it.